Hello and welcome to the Best Today podcast. Today I'm excited to talk to you about a very simple solution that I have implemented in my home. But first, I want to talk about how I got there. Well, first of all, I'll say this. I spent all of June and July, or a great portion of them, tackling every room in my home one by one. And I'm going to talk more about that in upcoming episodes and in even more detail over on my Substack for those on the journey. So if you are not subscribed, pause me now, or even while you're listening, click the link right here in your show notes that says for those on the journey, put in your email address and subscribe. So every time I write a new post, you will get it in your inbox. I'm going to be talking about why I decided to take this project on, because it was a pretty big feat and it took a lot of my time over the summer. I did more house project work than actual work for the month of July. I went room by room in our home and really thought about how we function and use the house. But again, I won't get into all those details here, but that is where this is like one small piece of that puzzle. But the problem that this solution, this mailbox system that I implemented in our home has helped to resolve, one of the problems was that we have this little nook in our kitchen that just screams, hey, throw things on me. I'll just hold all the things, right? And a kitchen is for cooking food and consuming food, right? And storing food. And if it's not one of those three things, I don't want it happening in my kitchen. I guess cleaning dishes, that's another one, right? But food, accoutrements, things that go with the food, right? We were using the kitchen as like this catch-all place for dump your book bag here, put the mail over here, and it would just, it had a basket, but it would just go unnoticed because it's in the kitchen. And every room has a purpose. Every room has an intention. And I have now declared in our home, the only purpose and function of the kitchen is to consume food, store food and food-related items, and eat food. It is not for your book bag. It is not for the papers. It is not for whatever, your toys. It's for the things I just said, right? And so I needed to get the paper out of the kitchen, right? Can you feel how I felt about that? So we tried systems in the kitchen, but the reason why I believe those weren't sustainable and sustained is one, because I live with 3 other people, all of which are different and all of which are different from me when it comes to organization. And the kitchen is not the place for papers in my home, right? If you have a way that works in your home, girl, you better go ahead and do that thing. In my home, that's not what the kitchen is for. And that's part of the reason why it wasn't sustainable. So I wanted a place and a room designated for the things for the family, right? So we don't have a mud room or really a separate entryway. When you walk in our house, it's like you're right in front of the stairs. You go left, you're in our dining room. You go right, you're in our family study. And we'll talk about the family study in another episode because that is the room formerly known as the playroom. But so I created like a little small section of what is now the family study. Like I said, so when you walk in our home, go to the right, there's our family study. And I created just a little mailbox system for us. I got this this little file box, which I've linked the exact one here in the show notes. So if you want to get an idea of what I got, as well as the file folders that I got, I linked the exact ones. They both are from Target. But I bought those, and there's a little section now over there. And if you want to see this with your own eyes, you can, like I said, subscribe to For Those on the Journey, because I have a post where I have a video. Because this one little thing has been so great. I love it so much. I wanted to put it on video and write about it more. So, but there it sits on what are those things called? Like a shelf, a calyx shelf. And it's just a little mailbox. It has 4 folders inside that have our names on it. So every person in the family, mom, dad, and my 2 children's names are on, everyone has their own folder. And what I like about the folders that I chose, and I chose these because there's like a little pocket in front of the folder and the main folder, so that we can put something in the front that you may not want to get lost in the bigger folder. So for instance, I'm getting ahead of myself, but if I want to leave a little love note to my daughter, I'll put it in the front part of the folder as opposed to the folder, which might hold some other things that she hasn't gotten to yet. So that's why I chose those specific folders. And again, they're linked here in the show notes and over on For Those on the Journey as well. If you follow me on LTK, they're there. So wherever you follow me for the things that I actually use and love with intention, you'll see the link for those. But they're right here in the show notes as well. So I used the file folder that I bought from Target. And there's a folder for everyone. Each person in the family has a folder with their name. And any paper of any kind that comes in this house that needs to go to a person does not go in our hands. That's the new rule. Do not walk in the house and say, here's a permission slip, Mom, I need you to sign. Don't do that. I won't walk in the house and say, hey, Zoe, this came in the mail from your grandparents. Nope. Any paper that needs to get into the hands of a person goes into their inbox, not in their hands. That's rule number one. Now, what is that going to help us avoid? Oh, you did give me that. And then I went to go do that thing and I sat it down and, oh, what happened, right? Those hands are going to sit that paper down somewhere and it's going to get lost. But if we, as a rule, say papers stay in the box, so that means you give me a permission slip, I sign it, I'm not going to give it back to you. I'm going to put it in your box now. And now you take it from your box and put it in your book bag. At Best Today, we exist to help women just like you be your best one today at a time. So each week on the podcast, we are going to highlight your stories and your voices. So let's see what's in the inbox today. Today, we have a 5-star review from Mandy reviewing the September workshop in our workshop series, The Compass versus the Clock. And Mandy writes, so empowering and helpful! Exclamation point. The Compass versus the Clock workshop was so incredibly helpful and insightful. The material and exercises Shantae provided allowed me to gain insight and clarity around my own desire for my life while identifying the actions and practices that will help me achieve those desires and outcomes. Not only that, it also made me aware of the actions I take that do the exact opposite, and pull me away from the life I want to live. Shantae is such a joy to listen to. She keeps it real and lets you know you are not alone. She really has a gift to help you to be your best self. I highly recommend this workshop. You will not, all caps, regret it. I can't wait to attend the rest of this workshop series. Mandy, thank you so much for that 5-star review and for joining us live in our recent September workshop. We have an entire series. First of all, you can get the replay of that workshop right now by going to besttoday.co/workshop. You can also get access to the October and the November workshop series. The replays will be available as well for both of those. All of that is available. We'll link to it in the show notes as well. Thank you so much. This workshop series, I'm telling you, has been absolutely amazing. I'm teaching brand new content, and it has been so wonderful to see the people show up. And really, the response to this was just so refreshing. People's eyes really were opened, and that is what I create for. So if you have not taken the Compass versus the Clock and gone through that material, the video is exactly 1 hour. Please do so by going to besttoday.co/workshop. Make sure you have time to have pen and paper with you, because there are exercises that you're going to work through in there and you are not going to regret it. So again, thank you again, Mandy, for that 5-star review. You can get yours right now at besttoday.co/workshop, which we'll also link to in today's show notes. Everything that goes in there goes to the person in their folder, right? Think about it. Permission slips, information from school, a note of encouragement, something you need to take to school, a list of responsibilities for the week. So their home responsibilities, they get a list of those every week, and they're pretty much the same every single week, but they go in, they can check those off. I don't like the word chores, so we call them responsibilities in our home, because that's really what we all have, responsibilities. Extra worksheets. So like if there's like some math facts that I think I want my son to work on and my daughter to work on, I'll print a worksheet and put it in their folder. You name it. If it's paper, it goes in their folder. And it has kept the kitchen counter clear of random papers being tossed to and fro. And it's been so great. And also everyone is excited to check their mailbox. So when my children get mail from their grandparents or a card in the mail, I put it in there and they're so excited to check it and see that they have mail. Beside the box, the file box, right, is a basket. And that is now where mail goes. It sits in there until it is triaged by me. I will go through and toss out junk and then put anything that might need to go to my husband will go in his folder. Anything that I need to tend to that I'm not going to tend to in this moment, it'll go in my folder. The children love when they get, like I said, something in the mail. And then on Sunday night during before family meeting, you need to go through your folder and clear it for the week. So you need to toss it. You need to, whatever that paper's final destination is, go on and do that so that we don't end up with huge clutter pockets of folders. And I'm going to tell you, it has worked beautifully so far in our home, and we implement it in the summer. And the reason I wanted to have it implemented in the summer is really, it's for the benefit of us really during the school year even more. And so it's been really, really great. It's a simple tool, right? It's just one, I think it cost me less than $20 for all the two things. Cause the basket that we use is a basket we already had around the house. About $20 maybe, probably a little less. And it has been so great. It has alleviated problems that existed in our home. And now that thing has a place to live, and it has a place to live in a room that makes much more sense. Our study is where we study, read, play games together. And now we just have that one little small station that takes care of mail, any paper clutter, and also losing papers, particularly papers that are in sometimes those papers are really important. So I'm excited that it has been in play all summer so that when school starts, we're now pros at this system, right? Everyone is tasked with checking their folders once each day. And I have plans to drop things in there like free ice cream cone cards for the first day of school. That's like, free ice cream cone on Friday, and we'll go get ice cream cones. But you have to check your box, because if you don't check your box, you don't know the free ice cream cone is there, right? It's a way to make it not only functional, but fun for our family. So if you've been dealing with real-time paper clutter, maybe this is a solution for you, or perhaps it sparked an idea for how you can tweak it to meet your needs. It has been one of the many systems that I have implemented over the summer so that our home works for us as we are today and not how we used to be, which is outdated. So if you're interested in reading more about the things that I'm doing around the house and have done all summer long, make sure you subscribe to For Those on the Journey, which is linked right here in the show notes, or you can just go to forthoseonthejourney.com. I'm sharing room by room all the things that I've done to set us up in hopes that it is an encouragement to you. Take what you need and leave what you do not. That's what I have for you today. So excited to share that one simple thing. And also, I think that's a great example of how you can just take one thing at a time to solve the problems that you might notice around your home. Thank you for being present with me for this week's episode of the Best Today podcast. The best way to support the podcast is by leaving a review, sharing it with a friend, and letting me know your parts and what questions you may have. You can always email us at hello@besttoday.co or leave a voicemail at besttoday.co/voice. And of course, please come and hear more from me over on my Substack, For Those on the Journey, which is linked below, or you can just go to forthoseonthejourney.com. Thank you for being present with me today, and I will talk to you on the next episode that you choose to listen to of the Best Today podcast. This podcast is provided for you every week by Best Today, where we are on a mission to help you to live and work well. We do this by creating resources that bring intention to how you plan, schedule, work, and live. You can get started in one of three easy ways. First, by taking our product quiz at besttoday.co/quiz. 2, joining us in our online community, the Best Today community, at besttoday.co/community. Or 3, connect with us through email at besttoday.co/email, all of which are linked below in the show notes. To learn more about our company and what we do, visit besttoday.co and join thousands of customers around the world pursuing a life of intention, one today at a time.